What's good with y'all boys, man? It's Fargo and I'm back with another 2K22 next gen video for y'all boys, man. And today we have something real special, real special and simple at the same time, but it does mean a lot. And it is the best controller settings and settings on 2K22 next gen version, obviously. It might be the same for current gen, but I think something like motion blur, I don't think that's on current gen. Settings like those, I don't think that's on current gen, but other settings might be compatible. So if you want to try these on current gen and see if they work for you, you could, but I don't want to make this intro too long. Let's get right into it right now. So you can honestly go to the settings straight from the city. So you can just press start, go all the way to options, where see options/quit. You go down to settings, and your settings are right here. The same settings that's on the menu, you can access that in the city as well. Right, so the quarter length, I keep that 5 minutes. Jersey number, none of that matters, right? Shot feedback, I like to keep that on just for my career or my player, whenever he's shooting in there, so I could just see like what type of shot it is or whatever. It's just something for me. It's just an aesthetic type of thing. Now the shot meter, I put that on pink, or the shot meter color, I put that on pink just so I could see it a little bit better. Even though I wish the line in the middle was white instead of black. I don't know why they made it black. It doesn't matter, but they should at least kind of tweak that a little bit next year if they do have the same meter. Hopefully they don't have that meter at all, but I don't even keep the meter on. I turn that off, but we're gonna get into that later. Now the camera shake, I keep that on. Gameplay indicators on. Action replays occasionally. I usually put it on never, so I don't have to get the action replays, but you could do either or. I never really touched these since I got on this game. The highlight play camera cuts, I put that on. After basket camera cuts, I like that. It's just, I don't know what it is. I have like kind of like I ain't gonna say it's OCD. It's just like when I see something a certain way, I don't like changing it. I just leave it. Ball handler text, I usually put name and position. It should be right here. Yep, name and position. Pick and roll overlay, I leave that on just in case I need to do some plays and stuff when I get my playmaking badges. And the subtitles, I take those off. I don't really need to see the subtitles. Motion blur, like I was just talking about earlier, motion blur is, I think that's only on next gen. I might be wrong. Somebody correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. But I leave that at 50. I don't need no motion blur, none of that extra stuff, right? Audio presentation, I like to turn down the PA volume and the 2K Beats volume, obviously, right? Because you don't want to get copyrighted if you making a video or streaming on YouTube, whatever, right? So this is just the regular settings I just did, right? Now you go down and you see the controller settings, right? So for the vibration function, you leave that on. I don't think they even have that for if you have the shot meter off like I do. I take off the trigger effect. I think that's only for PlayStation with this controller, because it's one of the, I don't know what kind of controller it's called. I think it's called the DualSense controller, and it's just like, I don't know, certain things allow your trigger to become like heavier, and it's just weird, right? I just leave it off, right? I don't really like the feeling of it, right? Even though it's realistic, I don't like the feeling of it. The shot meter obviously off. I put it on just to see how my jump shot was, right? And once I got my jump shot, I just immediately took it off. Like, I have a jumper that's coming out very, very soon. A lot of people that was in my stream at that time that seen me going crazy with the jump shot, right? Like the first time I used the jump shot, seeing the gameplay, I was going crazy. Y'all gonna see that jump shot later on. I got y'all. Now the shot timing, well, yeah, let me go back up. So you leave the shot meter off, right? So the shot timing, right? I just leave that shots and layups. Free throw timing, user timing, pro stick function is default, and you have absolute and absolute for the pro stick orientation and the off ball offensive mode. I never leave this, or I never move this from absolute ever, just so it could just stay there. I never change it, none of that stuff, right? So double team reaction, I leave that on auto. Help defense button function is double team. Call for pick and roll versus fade, I just put auto, but you can also put it at manual if you want to control that with your lobs or something. With my career with the playmaking badge method or whatever, usually I'll change this when I do the playmaking badge method. I might actually just leave it at manual now that I'm talking about that. The player icons is on. Skip pass enabled. Pro stick pass type will be normal. You can do flashy if you want to do flashy passes. Again, if you're trying to do the playmaking badge method, that might be one of the methods that you might be able to use. Flashy passes and all that extra stuff like that. I just leave that normal. I don't want all my passes to be flashy passes. It's just weird. Icon pass and default. Receiver control handoff / pitch pass. Pro stick defense is absolute, right? Absolute. Speaking of defense, Defensive tutorial coming out very soon when I max my build out, when I get it almost maxed out, because I don't want to give y'all defensive tips and y'all don't have badges and y'all be like, well, what are we supposed to do, right? I can do a defensive tutorial for people that don't have a lot of badges, but I would rather do one for people that mostly play defense or have like a little bit of badges or a good amount of badges, not a lot, to make it look like you're locked down. I'm gonna do that. I don't want to make no defensive tutorial for people that have no badges. It doesn't make sense. Who to guard on. I never take this off because I realize even if you take it off, it will still make you guard the same person, like if you had the arrow on or who to guard on. So I just leave it on, right? Now for the defensive assist strength, I think I take that down because sometimes they make the AI help a little bit extra. So I put it at 45. I think I usually left it at 50 on current gen 21, or not current gen, next gen 21. And it didn't really do anything, or it didn't really change anything because the AI really kept helping. So I'm gonna put it down at 45 to see what the difference is about it. Because if you're playing like for example, right, if you're playing my career, right, and your teammate helps over or something like that, if it's the lane open and you know the other team's about to score or whatever, like what if I don't want that to happen or something like that? Like what if I just want to get that block? I don't want the AI to get that block. Yeah, it sounds greedy, but just think about stuff like that when you're talking about defensive assist strength. So I just put that down at 45. Pass target profile default, pass target direction, I just leave all this other stuff alone with the openness, target distance, because it's perfect. I don't really gotta change anything. If y'all know more about this section, y'all could just explain to me to see what's the difference with it, but I doubt that you really would have to change this part. And I feel like that's pretty much all the main settings. There's no other settings that you have in the game other than controller settings and regular settings. So if this video was helpful to you, make sure you hit that like button, hit that sub button, turn on those post notifications for me. And we on the road to 10K. Once we crush 10K, you already know we hitting the big 100. But it's Fargo, and I'm out, man.